Welcome. This is my granddaughter, Josie, and I asked her to help me on this video because I want to try to illustrate to you why it's so important to be balanced when you ride your horse. And the general rule of thumb is that your horse should carry about 20% of its body weight. So if you have a 1,000-pound horse, then you and your saddle together should weigh around 200 pounds or not much over that. You can stretch that a little bit. You can stretch it up to 25%. On a 1,000-pound horse, that'd be 250 pounds. But if you do that, you would need to be extremely well balanced, and you would also not want to do it for a really long period of time because you would cause your horse to have not only discomfort, but eventually probably back problems or something like that. So what I did was I brought Josie out here, we put her on the scales, and she weighs 65 pounds. And then I brought out my trusty dusty calculator, and we figured that 25%, so we're stretching it a little bit. Let's put this backpack on, Jojo. We figured that 25% of her body weight was just a little, about 17.5 pounds or so. And this one weighs, this is 18 pounds. Aww. So she's just a little bit over that 25% mark on carrying 25% of her body weight. So Josie, I just want you to walk around here and carry that weight, okay? So she's carrying about 26% of her body weight. As you can see, she's struggling just a little bit. Now, Josie, come over here. I want you to kind of turn and start walking toward the camera. And as you do, no, come, I need to be right behind you. As you walk toward the camera, I want you to tell me what happens if I do that. You having a problem?
I'm turning and trying.
Okay, what's your problem? If you start walking this way. What's your problem if I just pull that backpack off a little bit?
I start falling.
You start falling. Why are you falling?
Because you're pulling me.
Are you out of balance?
Yeah.
Is it easier to carry if you stay in balance?
Yeah.
How about if you grab right here with your hands and kind of get that, now start walking and see if you can keep that in balance. Looks a little bit easier.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let me get behind you. Keep doing that. Is it harder if I pull it to the side a little bit?
No.
It's not harder? How about here?
A little bit.
A little bit? Because when that 25% of your body weight gets out of balance, you see what she's doing? She has to step sideways. So what Josie just did is just the same thing your horse has to do. If you get out of balance, your horse has to step underneath you. And I don't know if you watched her do that. She didn't even realize she was doing it. But when the pack went to the side, she had to see there. She has to step over and get underneath it. Your horse has to do the same thing. So I'm going to get on my horse and show you how this works a little bit from horseback. Okay, you can take that off.
Cut it off for now.
So now I'm sitting on my filly Ruby. Ruby's a 3-year-old, and I'm going to guess she weighs about 900 pounds, maybe 950. And actually she's on the diet right now. She's in the Jenny Craig plan for horses because she's been a little bit chubby back here. So I weigh 175 pounds. If you add my saddle and different things, I'm pushing that 25% with her whenever I ride her. And the reason I'm riding her without a saddle today is because I think you'll be able to see what I'm trying to illustrate a lot easier. So I'm just sitting up straight. If you're looking straight at me, I'm sitting straight up. If I lean just 1 inch to this side, just that far, you see what that does? She didn't move because I didn't ask her to move, but she has to compensate just like Josie did with her backpack. When she moves, she's going to have to step underneath me. If I lean over, she's going to have to step underneath me to get that balance back. And a lot of riders don't realize they're out of balance because most people ride with a saddle. And I've seen many riders who will ride around putting a lot of weight, even most of their weight, on one foot or the other. So they ride around like this and don't really realize it because the saddle lets them cheat. Okay? And so if you want to find out if you're balanced, just get on your horse bareback and you'll feel it immediately if you're out of balance, even a little bit. And Ruby feels it as well. Now let me show you how that happens, how that will hinder or inhibit your horse's movement. If I'm going to ask Ruby to turn left and I lean over and lean down, then she's got to drop that shoulder down like she did right there and step underneath me because I leaned over and I put my weight on her shoulder right there. Okay? Now, if I will make that same turn, if I'll come here and lean back just a little bit and cue her to make that turn with me sitting back, then she can make that turn like that without my weight on her shoulder, and I'm out of her way. So that's only one of many reasons that it's important to stay balanced from side to side. Now think about it front to back. Okay, if you look at me sitting up on her, I'm sitting up straight, my feet are underneath me. Okay, this is good riding position. A lot of people, and I give a lot of lessons, so it's pretty common for someone when they first start riding a horse, adults and kids, especially kids, you put them on the horse and they'll do this. And they'll just lean back because we Americans hardly ever sit up straight. Riding in the car, sitting on the couch, we slouch. And you can't do that riding a horse because you're throwing your horse out of balance. If I'm sitting back like that, I'm throwing myself out of balance, and even worse, if I lean forward, then I'm putting all my weight on her shoulders and making it extremely difficult for her to travel. All right? So it's important for me to sit up straight at all three gaits, walk, trot, and lope. Now, I might move my weight a little bit for different cues, but overall, it's important to stay balanced, sit up straight. So if you're not sure if you're balanced on your horse, take the saddle off, climb up there, just ride around a little bit at a walk and make a few turns, just like this. Just ask your horse to turn a few times, and you'll find out pretty quickly if you're balanced. And your horse will appreciate it if you can stay in balance when you're riding them.